Welcome back to the Triple SC, everybody. Got my man Gronk, Chris here.
Well, how do you feel? I know that the last time we tried to get a stream going on your attempt at starting Uncharted. We were on the
Yeah.
first one,
Yeah.
but we kind of ran into some technical issues, didn't we?
Yeah. Twitch doesn't save your videos, so that's fun. We're looking to spend some time this weekend getting it ironed out, and we're going to get it streaming to YouTube. That way, you guys can enjoy the content as well and check it out, and be able to join us live Saturday night if you want as well. We're not going to have like a mic or anything, but we will definitely be in the text chat and talking up how you feel about it. Let us know. See how you like the gameplay.
Chris got pretty far playing. Just for those that didn't catch the Twitch upload, he actually got to chapter
7.
7. Yeah,
It's like 35% or something like that of the game.
About 35% of the game was
2 hours.
completed. And it was pretty sick on his first try, but
It's
I
a
think
fun game. I do love the gameplay.
It
I love
is.
that style, the treasure hunting aspect, and
the adventuring games are not lost yet. There's still
Yeah.
a market for them.
even the combat mechanics. I enjoy the duck and cover concept and being able to fire over the walls, and it's how old is that game? I know that's a remake of it or a remaster, but
I want to say OG came out 2007.
it's a pretty solid game for '07.
Yeah.
A great storyline so far, so
And
I'm excited to see the rest of it.
let's briefly mention how sick that game looked with the frame rate
Yeah.
unlocked
absolutely.
and on
It's
a
insane.
TV that was properly calibrated to play in.
Right.
The two things were working together real well, and from where we were sitting to the television over there, it looked nasty.
Yeah.
Sick nasty.
I mean, you had your few moments where like the typical remastered things will happen with like hands and facial expressions and things like that, but otherwise, yeah, it was great.
It looked a lot better than Alan Wake, I'll say that.
Yeah. I don't think Alan Wake looked bad.
Well, I didn't watch all the cinematics. I'll be fair there, but from what I saw, like it wasn't as disjointed as the characters in Uncharted or like
The cutscenes
Yeah.
glitching out. Yeah, no, okay. I'm with you now. You're right.
where it's like, okay, you and I are having a face-to-face conversation, and like I'm looking that way during our conversation.
Yeah.
That's how off the calibration was, and I'd hate to say that maybe that was Alan Wake, but I did not see those issues while we were playing Uncharted.
Agreed.
Like it looked amazing even for 2007.
Yeah.
It looked amazing, and the does it actually say remaster there?
Well, those two are.
I think it might just be the 3 games ported from PS3 to PS4. I don't know that they're remastered.
Let's find out.
But we are going to play it again on Saturday. I'm going to take the wheel where we start over while Chris takes care of our technicals for us to make sure we're ironed in for the night.
Give us a video that'll actually be visible.
Yeah, that we can go back and comment on and enjoy. And so we will have that up hopefully Saturday evening. The Nathan Drake collection. That is the Legacy of Thieves collection. You want the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah.
But Chris seemed to enjoy it for all the frog jumping that he had to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I think
I didn't find myself getting too trivial in the battle dynamics. There was a couple spots where I missed the cue on where I needed to go, but other than that, like once I cleared that up, it was easy enough to manage. Huh?
I said it is remastered apparently. How about that?
Well, I'm not too sure. I think they remastered it, but it's not remastered in the collection. Unless that's the collection of remastered ones.
That's got to be what they mean.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they released each game individually for PS4.
Remastered, yeah. So that's how it's got to be.
Eh.
So I mean, it's still a great game.
Great
quality.
Did you feel a little burnt with how many cutscenes there were? Where it's like, okay, there's another 20-minute cutscene.
Yeah, really. I mean, especially at the beginning, it was like, man, we were hammering cutscenes in. I think the first 20 minutes of the game, I spent what felt like 15 minutes of it in cutscene. I'd run through this trail, get inside this like cave area, cutscene. Get out of the cave, cutscene.
Solve a puzzle, cutscene.
Cutscene.
Traversal for 5 minutes, cutscene.
Random shrub is moving in the wind, cutscene.
I'm telling you, it's a cinematic game.
It is.
Play Metal Gear Solid. It's just about as bad. Every 10 minutes you got to sit there and field a codec call because
somebody
all of a sudden somebody's like, Snake! Don't touch that crate!
Yeah.
Something. Not necessarily that, but it's...
You play Tomb Raiders that way?
Do I play Tomb Raiders?
No, do you feel like Tomb Raider is that way?
Do I feel Tomb Raider is that way?
You feel like it's very cinematic. I feel like there was a lot of people that you could talk to about it.
I feel like it is cinematic, and I guess that depends on which game. Let's add a caveat here. The Survivor trilogy, like Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they could be that way.
Yeah.
They could be that way, but I feel like the split between how much of the game you actually spend in gameplay is a larger chunk than what is cutscenes and FMVs and stuff like that.
Right.
But the game is still very cinematic.
Right. Fair.
Regardless.
Fair.
Uncharted, I don't know how I'd.
It's a little more cinematic.
It's a little more even. Like there is no clear winner between gameplay versus cinematic.
Right.
So that would be hard for me to. I'd have to sit down and play the games again in order to really feel out what the split is there.
Right.
But is there anything else you want to say on your initial impressions with Uncharted before we reveal the big secret plot twist in what we're going to talk about today?
No, I mean, I just look forward to playing the rest of the game. It's all the rest of the games.
You got four, the rest of one, and then 4 more after that. So yeah. you better buckle in.
A lot of story to enjoy, so I'm looking forward to it.
Some of it makes no sense, but there is a lot there to enjoy, and we talked about that a little bit. And I guess I need to get in the habit, we need to get in the habit of making sure that we say spoiler alert before we start talking about it, because me clean gave away the ending of Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think anything about it because, the games have been out forever at this point. Like, Uncharted 3 came out in 2011, so that means you've had 15 years to shit or get out of the bathtub at this point.
Right.
Uncharted 4 has been out for 10 years. The Lost Legacy's been out for... I don't know. I want to say that game came out in 2018, 2019. So, 7-8 years right there.
Right.
It's like all kinds of time in there. If you wanted to be any kind of gamer with these things, you could have sat down already. So if you're catching spoilers on a channel like this, I don't really feel sorry for you.
You heard it here first. No shame in his game.
You've had all kinds of time. Now, if this channel gets you interested and you're like, hey, you just explained this to me, now I want to go play it.
Right.
Oops. Because that kind of does suck. Where it's like all those emotional landfalls that...
It sure does.
But gang, we're gonna do it. We're gonna pull the trigger and not look back. We're gonna talk about the epic cartoon masterpiece that was, and forever shall always be Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Classic.
The single greatest thing that ever came out of Cartoon Network, start to finish.
Agreed. A lot of close seconds, but
I defy anyone out there to tell me different. Ed, Edd n Eddy. And there's so much to unpack there. I feel like there's so much to go over and to digest with Ed, Edd n Eddy, because so much about that show was entertaining. And one of the things that I will say is, and you and I talked about this before, is like, you know, whenever the show opens up, like the sound bites, or the audio that was attached to the comedy of the show, like when the Eds were sitting there like building their contraptions or putting together whatever it was for their scam, you would hear these ridiculous, like you would hear just like city construction noise being played over it, and you'd hear noises,
the jackhammer and stuff like that.
You'd hear noises that there's just no possible way could anything in their environment be making these noises, but it was still the audio attached to it. Like there's a scene where they're trying to get the Tooth Fairy to show up at their house, and they're all standing on the roof, and Ed is waving the air traffic controller things, and all the, you know, you hear a woman over a PA going, the white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers, or something like that. And it's like, I love the audio cues that make up the comedy in the show.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just one of several things,
many things
that make up the comedy. Like the fact that they were aware that they were cartoon characters.
Right.
And I mean, they're just routinely breaking the fiction of the show.
Why not though?
And that's part of the comedy. I forget what it was, but Eddy says something to the effect of, Double D complains that it's hot, and then like 5 minutes later in the episode, he says it's hot again, and Eddie's just lost all patience for it, and he's like, dude, you're like a broken record. We covered this 8 pages ago. Or something like that. And it's like, yeah.
Right.
And all three I want to say all three of them, at least Eddy and Ed do, but they are aware of the fact that they are cartoon characters, and they make note of the fiction of the show.
Right.
Because like Ed, you know, they're getting ready to close the episode, or they're getting ready to transition from one scene to the next, and Ed is like iris out and fade to black. And that's exactly the transition that happens going from one scene to the next.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. There's a lot of other shows that do it, but like where people will look, it's supposed to be a mockumentary and people will look at the camera or something like that. Mm-hmm. Just that's the type of humor that gets me. That's
briefly, that's one of the things that I love about Deadpool.
Yeah.
Is his knowledge of his reality.
Yeah.
Like he breaks the wall all the time in his movies, and he does it a lot in the comic books. And and it's like I've always made the assessment that Deadpool is like if you made a Looney Tunes character into a comic book hero.
Yeah.
And I love old cartoons and I love Looney Tunes just because they're always aware of their meta nature.
Right.
And so it brings to mind a question: if you, out of all the children in the cul-de-sac, if you could pick a dead favorite of all of them, like what is your favorite Ed, and Eddy character?
Now or as the show was coming out? Because when the show was coming out, it was 100% Eddy.
Yeah.
I always wanted to make a buck somewhere.
Just a grubby, obnoxious loudmouth who'd sell his own sister for $1.
I swear. Of course, there was also moments I was Ed. So, let's be fair there. Now, probably Rolf.
Rolf.
Yeah. Some of his phrases were top tier.
Oh man, his like old world clash of culture thing.
Especially with that heavy accent. Oh God, yes.
Where he just threw it out, and I couldn't even say it here, like come up with some example of what it, because it's just so out of pocket. He just throws it at you. You're like,
yeah.
Look.
Oh, well, we gotta look it up then.
and you get everybody gets stuck because they're like, what are you talking about, man?
Which, speaking of Ed, and Eddy, Fortnite's supposed to be putting Ed, and Eddy skins out.
I saw
that just got dropped or whatever.
I cannot believe there is an entire Reddit thread on what your favorite quote from Rolf is. But that shouldn't surprise me because there's a Reddit thread on everything. Rolf can see shoddy spot welding from a distance of 20 goats.
Do not burn the candle at both ends as it leads to the life of a hairdresser.
The burden of hospitality is too great for Rolf.
This is Rolf's load of baloney. You cannot have it. I just seen
Great lucky nano kidney stone keychain.
Your garden is overgrown and your cucumbers are soft.
Confess to your crimes, stale piece of white bread.
My patience is wearing thins like mama's head of hair. That's funny. Good Ralph. How about you?
All time, I would say my desert island favorite is probably Double D.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why exactly that is. Like I can't just pull that rationale out of the ether and say, well, here it is.
You don't feel like you rationalize or like relate to him because you both have a infinite amount of useless knowledge.
Of the three, he's always the one that I get. Ed is just simple-minded enough that he goes along with.
He's just happy to be there.
He's happy to be there.
Yeah.
He's happy to feel like he's got chums.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ed, Double D, is sitting there, and he's caught up in it because none of them ever really do a lot of standing up to Eddy, like when he's off on a tear.
Yeah.
They just kind of go along with it because they're all children and they're desperate to
have friends amongst
each other. Friends, I guess.
Yeah.
But Ed, Double D. I gotta stop calling him Ed.
Yeah, you gotta distinctify.
It's Double D.
Yeah.
It's Double D. So Double D is always the one that their schemes will backfire in a wild way and half the time, and so he's the one that just has to sit back and
yeah.
Oh, the miserable way we spend our life or whatever, and he's always trying to be neighborly and friendly to all the other children and to be personable and
right.
kind, and helpful.
Right. That's fair.
And because he's stuck with maybe they're not necessarily the best friends, he ends up falling short in all of what he could have ostensibly a great social life, where he's respected and liked by everybody else because he's such a nice and helpful guy. And
Right.
but meanwhile he's towing around with the other two stooges. And
Is that all it is the modern day Three Stooges?
in the other neighborhood, the other cul-de-sac, they punish him for being friends with the Eds. Like,
Right.
if he's not with them, everybody treats him with kind of a modicum of respect. But when he's tied up in their schemes, everybody immediately starts punishing him just because he's
Association.
just because of brand association.
That's how it goes, man. That's all it takes.
And I don't like making commercials for myself, but I don't know, I always thought that I was a nice guy, a helpful guy. If I could have caught a lucky break here or there, I'd have probably gotten a lot further. But
Right. Such is life, right?
Sweet, good-natured, friendly. But now that I'm 40, I find that I think everything is, what is it he says in Clerks 2? I hate everyone and everything seems stupid to me.
It's fair.
Who'd want to be my friend? I got you.
That's right, buddy.
I got you.
Now, for the real question. What's under the hat?
They never say. Danny Antonucci.
You had like one episode where it almost came off numerous times.
They
or it was off.
It came off,
They
and the
wouldn't pan to him.
Eds saw it, and like they did this whole Ark of the Covenant face melt thing just from whatever it was that they saw.
Yeah.
And there was an attributing like wild audio noise associated to it, like screaming cows fleeing the pasture or something like that.
Right.
And so whatever it was never answered, like start to finish. And then Ed and Eddy's Big Picture Show after that, and like before that movie came out, Danny, guy crazy, a brilliant man, he swore up and down, he's like, yeah, you're gonna see what's under the hat, I'm gonna explain that, we're gonna deal with that. And you lied straight to my impressionable, vulnerable 24-year-old face. You're a disturbed man. Shame on you. Never, and they talk about it every once in a while because Double D doesn't want to play a part in their schemes.
Right.
And in order to get him to comply, Eddy will be like,
I'll tell everybody.
unless you want everybody to know what's under the hat,
Yeah.
you're going to do what I tell you to.
Yeah.
And Double D is just like, very well. I shall play my, whatever his actual line of dialogue is, but he'll just eat dirt because he doesn't want anybody.
It's the last thing he's gonna have happening.
And he's always got the beanie on, and he's got 3 hairs poking out from underneath it, just 3 rogue hairs poking out from underneath of it.
That's right.
But all of them kind of have things about them that, if not make them interesting or relatable, they're at least, because some of them are awful.
All right, that's what I was about to get to. Who's your least favorite?
Oh my God, Sarah.
That's Ed's sister?
Yeah. She is such an obnoxious. She's like Eddy. She is such an obnoxious loudmouth, and she's a bully, and I hate bullies. And it's just it's a Napoleon complex because she's so damn small.
Right.
That she's got to compensate by having a mouth the size of Greater Texas. like, man. And what I do think is interesting is that, like, so you have the Canker sisters,
Yeah.
and each of the Canker sisters' voice actresses does the voice of another character on the show.
Right.
Like the lady that voices Lee voices Kevin.
Okay.
The lady that voices Marie voices Sarah, and the lady that voices May voices Naz.
Okay.
So they each, each woman feels like two different voices on the show.
Right.
But, and I always think it's like, wow, they actually do something to make them sound different. But now that I know it's the same person, I can see where it sounds the same.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I hate obnoxious loudmouths.
Right.
I can't.
Wasn't it you and I that was talking about this, or maybe not, that just voice acting when it comes to being a different character is really just a matter of changing the tone?
Yeah, that's when we were talking about H. John Benjamin.
Yeah.
And the fact that he does Archer.
So do you think they did that well, and like they just didn't do it well enough to convey a different character to you?
In that, I think they did a good enough job that
At least as a kid, you weren't able to tell the difference.
I couldn't. I thought Naz was a person, or Naz was voiced by an actress, and that each character was voiced by a different person. Like, I was like, okay, these are distinct voices.
Yeah.
I buy the illusion that they're different people, but
Same.
as I developed that ear,
Yeah. I
I was like, okay, I see that's the same person. Like, there's just tiny little things where I'm like, I can
certain endings to words that sound the same.
I can see you in both roles now.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I'll tell you, I'll offer you a great example of that kind of thing that happened to me recently, because we got to branch off at Ed and Eddy real quick. So
Oh Lord, we'll never make it back.
just hang in there. We'll get there. So, Amber was watching a show on Netflix earlier in the week called Runaway.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of half listening to it out of the corner of my ear while she's watching it, and I'm basically staring off into space, and I'm listening to the main character talk, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. And for a minute or two, I'm like, I'm going through the Rolodex. I'm like, I know that guy. I know that. That's one of the guys that played a dwarf from The Hobbit.
Oh my gosh. Wild.
And I was like, and I poked her a little bit, and I was like, I know exactly who that is. I guarantee it. I know. $5.
As if he doesn't need any more evidence. I think he spent the whole entire playthrough of Fallout 3 doing the exact same thing at every cutscene I walked into. Oh yeah, she voice acted in this game, in that game, and in this movie.
And as much as I think that offers me some kind of clout, that makes me like, I just outclassed Kid Rock as the American badass. Nothing.
Well, maybe if we were streaming it, it would have been a lot cooler.
To just see it happen in real time, it probably would have looked a lot cooler.
Yeah.
But showing her that I was right, all I got was, you're a dork.
Well,
And I was like, all right, Kevin.
all the movies you could have picked.
Oh yeah, she's never seen the Hobbit movie. She doesn't care. But it was just for a very long time, I've been good at that.
Right.
Like, I've been good at that exact kind of thing, or figuring out what movies, what TV show, what actor people are trying to put together in their head relatively fast.
Right.
And going one more story very quickly down this rabbit hole just a little bit further. I must have been about 11 or 12. Quit shaking your head a minute. If you want out, you're free to. I must have been. I don't know when Gods and Monsters came out, but it was Friday. My folks used to bowl on Friday night. The couple that they bowled with every Friday night after bowling was over would go out to dinner because we hung out with their kids.
Right.
And we were sitting at dinner. We were eating at Ryan's back when it was Ryan's.
I miss Ryan's so much.
And the guy's name is Bill, and he's sitting there. He's describing this movie. He's like, "Oh, it's got the guy that was just in The Mummy in it. It's got Ian McKellen in it, and he plays this old this old man who, and Brendan Fraser is like cleaning his pool or something like that. Just going on and on. I don't remember exactly what all of his words were, right. But very quickly I was like, "You're talking about Gods and Monsters." And he froze and his eyes went big and he's like, "Yes!" And I was just thinking,
He met a real life AI. Before AI.
And because I decided very young that one of my passions was movies, and because Mother taught me to love these things and do my research maybe, and gave me this passion. She kind of put a lot of things out in front of me and said, "All right, what's your pleasure?"
Right.
And I picked the ones that made the most sense to me, and I developed an understanding or a knowledge for them, and
right.
So anyway, I've always been good at just picking it out of the crowd and being like, "Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly who that." And if I didn't know the guy's name, I was like, "I know what he's from.
Right.
I know what I've seen him in before." And to just be at this point in my life where I can still be like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good." I don't know. It feels like a talent. Maybe I'll never get further than my own. Take the credit
where the credit's due.
Maybe I'll never get further than my own driveway on it, but
probably not. You're supposed to be part of the writing crew for these punchlines and comic book shows.
I know, Hugh Jackman, man, he's got a.
Speaking of, did you see the thing I sent you about working with a guy named Bruce Wayne? Everybody at work calls him Man Bat.
Yep, I saw that.
Immediately made me think of you because of saying that on the whatever episode that was.
Yeah, that was the New Year's resolution episode, I think.
Yeah. You
were so surprised, and maybe not in a big way, but you were a little surprised that he actually has a villain named Man Bat.
Well, I mean, it's not common that they just take the superhero's name and reverse it. Like, who's Man Spider?
Well, I think that like they had to because in the comics there was a period where Peter Parker mutated.
Yeah.
Right. And he became like he sprouted 4 extra arms, and his he like turned into a
transformation,
nearly full transformation.
Okay.
Into a man spider, and so he like went through this whole, as I recall, like J. Jonah Jameson redub where he was like, "It's the man spider," however J.K. Simmons talks.
Right.
And so for a brief minute there, and they kind of reference it every once in a while. Ever since then, he was like Man Spider.
Useless knowledge.
The more you know. Rainbow, you got to picture it, okay? Follow us. Just imagine that. The more you know, Rainbow.
Imagination.
Do you ever wish Gene Wilder was still alive so that he could sing the Pure Imagination song to people from Willy Wonka?
I didn't even know he sung that.
He was Willy Wonka in the original Willy Wonka. Before it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and before it was Wonka.
Like the original, like
The
I don't even know what year,
original
but yeah, the old one.
70s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I never put two and two together.
I wish he'd tell me that I could live in the land of pure imagination.
Last time I saw that movie, I don't think I even understood like actors' names and the fact that they might be in more than one thing at a time. So
Well, this is the thing that my mother gave me the tools to be able to do and kind of do well.
all right.
You know, when we was growing up, she taught me to love the old '60s romance comedies with Doris Day and Cary Grant and Rock Hudson. And
Were those her faves?
those were her favorites. For me, it was Don Knotts and Jerry Lewis, and I like Doris Day movies too. But
Yeah.
we gotta get it back off of this tangent and get
Yeah.
back to Ed, and Eddy. No rabbit hole there. I think we've
Cleared that up.
cleared that hurdle as far as we need to.
Did you become a fan of Jawbreakers because of Ed, and Eddy?
I never got in them like that. Like every once in a great while, I'd get a burr up my ass about having one. And you know, there are no real candy stores anymore.
Well, back then there was the Inside Scoop at the mall. If
I
you
remember that.
Not only did they have the little Jawbreakers,
There's a big ones.
That boy was like $6 for that one
They were
Jawbreaker.
monsters. You could rob a bank with a bag of those things.
Oh man.
What about you? What was your who was your least favorite?
Oh, Kevin.
Because he was also an obnoxious bully that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, looking back at it as an adult, he just seen through Eddie's like herd of crap, more or less.
But he was
was always so.
He was
crappy.
mean to everybody. He was
Yeah.
crappy to everybody.
Even there was a couple times he was crappy to Naz, and she was always running around with him.
I'll put it this way: in the big picture show, they trash his bike. The Ed scam backfires so bad it trashes his bike.
Okay.
And he is beside himself. Well, eventually he kind of cobbles it back together so he can chase after him again. And Naz is with him on this journey. And I forget exactly what happens, but he wrecks the damn thing again. And you just see him, you know, like both Naz and the bike have been thrown clear of the shot.
Right.
He's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" You know, and he just starts booking, and Naz is like, "Yeah, I think so." She starts dusting herself off and gets back up, and she just opens her arms like Kevin, you know, like she's waiting on Kevin to run into them, and he
Goes
just
to the bike.
just goes straight past her to the bike.
Yeah.
And
I haven't even seen the movie, but I knew where that was going.
and he does that all the time. Like that bike is his greatest love.
You didn't spend a lot of time on a bike growing up?
I don't know. I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was 24.
Oh, really?
And even then, I learned it for like a day, and I was like, I don't know. I went over the handlebars in one of my neighbor's driveways, and I was like, well, I've taken this about as far as I can go.
We've all been there, bub. Everybody's been there. A little smaller, so it doesn't hurt as much, but
As a full-grown adult, when I'm making laps around Mother and Daddy's neighborhood, and I'm screaming at Daddy from in the front yard like, I can ride a bike, and he's like, all right. And then I get halfway down the street, and I'm like, all right, I can get up this curb into somebody's driveway, do a quick spin, and then back out, before their garage door opens or whatever.
yeah.
And, going up over curbs is a little bit more of a nuanced
Than you think it is.
than I thought it was, and I did a header over the handlebars, landed on my palms, and
Yeah. That's all she wrote.
I could walk, but I'll just drive. That's.
We spent a lot of time on our bikes in the neighborhood. I grew up in an apartment complex, and it was a circular complex with an entryway. So you just make laps. You race each other around the complex. There's certain points you knew where like the dirt between connecting roads and parking spots, you could just get a nice little air time on them. So we spent a lot of time on our bike. So I understand Kevin's love for his bike. I had a love for my bikes growing up.
I want to say it's the Wee Rangers, the Cub Scouts thing that Rolf is like the troop leader, and then it's Johnny and Jimmy, and even Plank has a.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Has a cap.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of my. Like a lot of my favorite parts of the show come from the last season where it stopped being summer and they have to go back to school.
Right.
Because it's like, oh man, this whole new level of comedy, this environment you've never seen them in before. And now they have to eat dirt because it's not just an endless summer vacation.
Yeah.
And so there's an episode of the show in the last season where, because Eddy is just such an obnoxious little brat, and he's always got something to prove to people that are bigger than he is, and he gets into this whole I'm a bigger man than you are competition with Rolf, and the Wee Rangers turn it into a whole
war.
Turn it into a whole you're gonna earn a badge
out
of this kind of thing, and just a constant and just I think one of the things that I love about the show is the squash and stretch Tom and Jerry level of chaos and violence.
Yeah.
Like
they can get flattened by a house, but then they'll run out the front door.
And they'll just have scrapes and bruises, black eyes. They'll have like little stars and birds, fluttering around their head, but they're fine.
Yeah.
The fact that they just got a whole house dropped on top of their head means nothing.
Gonna jump up, shake it off, and start running.
Get hit by a train, run down by a city bus, whatever it is. I love that squash and stretch comedy.
Yeah.
And it's always funny to me to watch and to see any cartoons that do it really. But of course, in the episode he loses. Like he loses by 1 second to Rolf because he passed out 1 second before Rolf did, and the final test of hairy chest of resilience or something like that, and he's just so shattered. And he get his consolation prize is like a pacifier or something like that, the pacifier badge. The boohoo crybaby pacifier, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it because that episode is full of Rolf saying ridiculous old world things.
Yeah.
But one of the other elements of the show that I just always latch onto is in Ed and his impossible nature, both as an absolute simple-minded buffoon, and yet he is incalculably strong at the same time. Like, he lifts a whole house up off of its
the foundation
several times. He rips an entire sewer duct up out of the ground and just carries off with it.
Yeah.
He's just and it doesn't always work the same way because it only fits the comedy of the scene, but like he is just impossible.
Yeah.
Like he's the impossible character. Like at one point he grabs Eddie's hair and whips it around or something like that, or he pulls on it and he's like, it gets his hair twirling like a helicopter blade, and Eddy just takes off. And Double D is just staring up after him like, remind me to ask you how you did that, Ed. And at one point he just, they do the whole Wile E. Coyote thing. Yeah. He does the whole Wile E. Coyote thing where they both take off across they basically cross the cliff of a gorge without realizing how far over they've gone, and they're just hanging there in midair.
Right.
And Eddie and Double D both look down and they're like, "Oh my God, impossible alert!" So they, before they realizing where they are, before they fall, they get back over to the cliff.
Right.
And Ed is just, because he's such a simple-minded he's just still standing there in midair, like, I can still jump it. And it's like he just doesn't realize the peril. So it's like that,
It's comedic.
I love it. I love that comedy.
Yeah.
I love screwball comedy.
Agreed.
And if you haven't watched it yet, I really think Ed must have dropped a rock on top of you, and that's where you're living these days, is under that rock that Ed just dropped on your head. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how to help you.
The rock that Ed dropped. Dr. Seuss did again.
Quick rabbit hole. I don't know where I wanted to go with the, when we were talking about that before, and I was like, I wanted to get on a whole Dr. Seuss rabbit hole. So let's just wrap that up real quick. Bear with us. I know we're on our closing, we're closing in a little longer than normal, but really why I brought that up, like, I don't know, rhyming is fun.
Oh, yeah.
It can be. And to just get into a whole doctor, try to get into a whole Dr. Seuss, well, look at this way we keep rhyming. Isn't it magical, our timing?
Yeah.
I wonder how long we can keep this going. I have no way of knowing. But isn't it fun? But at this point, we should probably be done. Something. I don't know. That's really all I wanted to do with that. Was
that
just
part.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Was just turn it into a whole. Let's see how long we can keep this rhyme
going. Oh,
get
man.
a whole rhyme time.
There's a game you can play that's like that. That is a very, very close variation that would be challenging enough on its own.
I think it would be fun, and I guess that was because, like, I love How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
And I watch it. I mean, I think a lot of people watch it every year at Christmas, or maybe they watch it through the whole year.
We definitely watch it at Christmas.
But, it's like, hey, I want to watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like rhyming.
Feel the Dr. Seuss within you.
Oh,
Right in the soul. It's like his heart grew 3 sizes that day.
But is there anything you want to wrap on this Ed, and Eddy?
No, I think we covered it all. Let us know. What's your favorite Cartoon Network show?
What's your favorite Ed, and Eddy moment? Your favorite Ed, and Eddy character? Your least favorite?
That too, yeah.
Let's
hear it all.
Let's hear it, dorks. That would be what Kevin. I'm not saying dorks. I'm just speaking for Kevin. He would call y'all dorks. But I think that is where we are going to call it, so we don't run too long beyond what we normally do.
Okay.
Let's keep it straight, and we will see you guys again in a couple of days.
Till next time.